Hello and welcome to this Dawn Busters Taste Challenge. Well, I have to do a recorded one this morning because the webcam is broken. It's finally gone, so I have to get a new one. And but I'll record this. So we have from 2016 Drumcastle blended Irish whiskey, aged 3 years, bottled by the Founders Company, Louisville, Kentucky. But you can see that's a Sazerac bottle. So that's who owns it if you check the trademark. Proudly distilled and blended in Ireland. There's a Castle Keep. Master distilled, well, all distilleries have a blend master, distillery master. Drumcastle barrel aged Irish whiskey, a blend of 100% Irish whiskey mellowed in a combination of bourbon and wine oak barrels for 3 years. Bourbon and wine oak. I have to update that in my notes when I post this. Elegant and smooth. They're both 40% alcohol. Now here's Douhans. Triple distilled blended Irish whiskey. That's the norm. Triple distilled. Crafted and imported naturally. Now it says distilled and matured in Ireland. It doesn't say bottled in Ireland. So that should tell you something. A beautifully light and delicate blend of Irish whiskeys, all triple distilled and matured in oak casks. This recipe captures the pleasant and approachable characteristics of an Irish whiskey. Soft, slightly toffee sweet, gently floral, and subtly oaky. This whiskey elegantly coats the palate. A fine display of traditional Irish craft and a truly fantastic whiskey. Well, I would give you a website link so you can read that on your own, but there is no website link. And it says imported by Rebel Spirits, Gardena, California. When I first bought this from Walmart, it was $19.99. Then they dropped the price to $9 because they were trying to get rid of it. They don't sell it there anymore. And I missed out on the big deal, the big sale. But Rebel Spirits was a website, and they had all these different whiskeys imported from around the world and that. And then they didn't have their website anymore. They were saying Rebel Spirits was purchased by some other company. And then that company's website is down or doesn't exist. So I don't know if Douhans exists anymore. It might have just been a 3-year thing and never to be seen again. There are video reviews for it. Don't know if you'll see it. And I'd like to be able to tell you more about it, but I can't because there is no information really. I only saw it at that store. I don't think I saw it anywhere else. I'm not saying it was a Walmart private label brand. I don't believe it was. Or anything like that. That's the only place I saw it. One thing we'll notice is the Drumcastle is a bit darker. But not by a lot, but a little bit darker. Gold. And then this one is really pale straw. Alright, so got to remember Drumcastle aged in ex-bourbon barrels and wine barrels, both oak, of course, and then the Drumcastle just said oak barrels. What kind? We don't know. Probably bourbon, but it could be anything, really. Okay, don't look. I'm not going to look down at that because if I see a slightly darker whiskey, I'll know which one it is. Oh, the Drumcastle was on sale at Albertsons for $14.99. Normal price $17.99. So it's cheap as it is, but it was cheaper, as it turns out. Okay, it smells like Irish whiskey, just like a slight vanilla, a generalized light pale cereal grain. This one has even less aroma. So it's those things I just talked about, but even less. So I think that's the Douhans. But let's go with the taste. sugar water. Whiskey to me tastes like sugar water. Vanilla, oak, a little bit of honey top white bread, like I was saying with some of the scotches I was addressing. Namely, especially, not namely, because there's a number of them, but especially the dimple pinch. Okay. Similar, less vanilla but more oak. And now I have it in my mind from reading the label that there is a wine component. Like maybe they're using red wine barrels because it's kind of like a strong Merlot wine, a Burgundy wine type situation. So, I think this is the Drumcastle. Now, which one is better? And I remember it's a $5 well, it's a $2 difference, but with the Albertson sale it's $5. But really about a $2 difference. Negligible. Nice, mild. Maybe grain alcohol shining through, which is usually not the benefit you're looking for. But like grain spirits, you know, just there. But of course in Ireland it has to be aged at least 3 years. Can't be like United States, blended whiskey with raw grain spirits. That's allowed in the USA. Not allowed in Canada, Ireland, or Scotland. They all have to be, every part has to be aged 3 years. They don't allow raw grain spirits. Now they might have products over there that do that, but they can't be called whiskey. They might be called blended grain product, something. Okay, just like in Germany, you can have adjunct beers. They're not allowed to call them beer. They call them something malt beverage product. I think I prefer this one, and because of that maybe wine barrel aspect, and I'm gonna call it the Drumcastle. Nope. I've had enough of this, you know. I drank a whole bottle of Drumcastle. Well, I had a little help, but over, you know, not over many months. And then this is the second bottle I bought, and then I've gone nearly halfway through this one, but I need more practice. So it was the Drumcastle that had the more developed flavor, and I thought was a little bit better. Well, it is $2 more, $2 to $5 more. So, but anyway, they're both under $20 at the time of purchase. With the JB inflation, you never know what's going to happen. But bought something at Walmart. It was $6.97, and 2 days later I went back and it was $8.47. This happens when money loses its value. It doesn't have any value. Would I recommend either or both of the products? I would recommend either one. Especially considering you're not paying out too much. I'm not going to sit here and brag about, oh, they're just incredible, I can't believe it. Now, on the other hand, when I put Drumcastle into competition against all the other Irish whiskies I have, I already did that with Douhans, I'll be curious to see what happens. I already did it against Jameson, and that was a good video, and I think I did. I'll double check, but I'm pretty sure I brought it into, because that's why I bought it, so I could bring it into that and then use and do taste challenges. But you never know. Like you think it can't stand up to Patty's. It's gonna get, but Patty's is only $19.99. It's gonna get killed by Bushmills. I think it will get killed by Bushmills, Black Bush, and Red Bush. I don't think it's got a chance against those. But you think, but you don't know until you do the blind taste test. Well, I always say blind taste test is important because it can wash away any intentional or unintentional bias. You can say, I know my beer, I know my whiskey, I'll never get it wrong. Oh yeah? Maybe you won't. Let's do the blind taste test and see how well you know it. And I've seen beer people do it numerous times and say, wow, I can't believe it. I never thought I would get it wrong. Like, I would never dream that I would get Budweiser mixed up with some other beers. They said, oh, shocking. So, in this case, it's not shocking because I'm not that familiar with either one. And even though I've drunk that much of this, it was... And another excuse, an excuse more than a reason perhaps. These Irish whiskeys, they're so like common one to another that I haven't noticed too many standouts except for the Black Bush, which is, it's 80% single malt whiskey, as opposed to most of these being 80% grain spirits, grain whiskey. Well, grain spirits, and then once they age in the barrel for 3 years, and they become whiskey. Yes. So that one should stand out, and it does. So anyway, I got it wrong. Well, too bad for me. So I'll have to go get another web camera. I got a lot of usage out of this one anyway. You see, so got my money's worth. So we'll see what happens there. Got to do that quickly so we get ready for Stout Sunday. So Les Bon Temps Relais. 2 enjoyable products. Actually, much better than you would imagine for the price point. And I'm going to end this review by saying, y'all, go to New Orleans and visit the Sazerac House.